Hello everyone. If you're tuning into this video, you want to learn all about create stress units. So, without further ado, let's start off with the hand crank. Now, when you turn the hand crank in any direction, you generate 256 stress units at a rotation speed of 32 RPM. Now, this is good for extending and unextending pistons, because they will these two pistons will take 128 stress units each. But if we add another shaft to this third one, it is overstressed. So be careful on what stress units you are using, because there's only 256 stress units to move your crate contraptions. But a hand crank is good for the early game, as you can use it in a mechanical press, although being very slow, and you can also use it for one of your mixers and create some potions or a few uncraftable or formula-less recipes. So as you can see here, I have some milk, some water, and some leaves to make some builder's tea. You can also use a hand crank to slowly grind up wheat in the early game with a grindstone. But next, you will probably be looking for some water wheels. Take some andesite shafts and some planks to craft both the small and larger water wheels. And as you can see, we are playing on crates 1.18.2 versions, and these are the current wood types that are compatible with both the small and large water wheels. Going over here, we have 256 stress units and 32 RPM from our hand cranks, comparable to these water wheels, generating the same 250 stress units, but at a slower RPM. Now, it doesn't matter whether you place water or lava for that instance on the water wheel, as long as it's touching and flowing, the water wheels will generate stress units. So the larger water wheels double the smaller water wheels at 512 stress units at a slower 4 RPM. And as I've mentioned before, you can take these water wheels into the nether if you so desire and still power them with lava. Another cool feature with water wheels is that you can have them side by side and along. However, the only parts touching the water will generate stress units, as the other ones without won't. So you're gonna have to drink some more water and attach it to the water wheels to generate those extra stress units. A combined total of 512 times 4 is 2048 stress units. But if you try to add water to any of these, well, I guess this kind of works out, is that by adding it to the side, you can actually speed up the process of the water wheels, making them spin a little faster at 8 RPM, the speed of the slower water wheels, but still generate more stress units. So that's a little tip for you. Up next in generating stress units, where the water wheel provides at maximum for 512 stress units at 4 RPM, we have our windmills. Now, this is the very minimum amount of sails to have on your windmills. They'll rotate at a very, very slow 1 RPM, but generate just as much stress units as a water wheel. So if you don't like using your wood and your andesite, you could probably try to craft a little bit more windmill sails. and not use much resources, maybe more sticks, andesite, and wool. But to go to the absolute max, you're going to need 2 stacks of windmill sails. Now they could be either both sails or just their frames, and that will generate you 8,192 stress units and an RPM of 16. So this is the absolute fastest that you can go at max, and you could spin it in both directions. But I don't know why you'd want to do that. But yeah, that's our windmills at 8,000 stress units. That is at least 5 times 5 into 8, 80, at least 16 times, I think. 16 times more powerful than a single standard water wheel. Now it does take up more space, but here we can go into the steam engine area. So if you were to hand crank the pump, this would be at, let's see, 128 stress units on the pump, which is more than enough to power a passive steam engine just for a little while. So as you can see, 20 RPM when the hand crank is at 32 RPM will be enough to turn the pump and provide enough water for at least a passive steam engine. Now, for a steam engine, you're going to need a fire source, a water source, as well as a size to fit all those in. Now, the minimum size for a steam engine is 4 blocks of fluid tanks. I believe I have some fluid tanks right here. So these little guys. And to craft a steam engine, you're going to need a copper block, a piece of gold plate, and an andesite. So as you can see, we have a normal fluid container here. You could toggle on and off the glass window to see inside it. But for it to become a steam engine, or a boiler for that matter, you're going to need to attach a steam engine to it. And then you will see the temperature gauge and the steam gauge at the very bottom of the block. So even if I were to set it in midair, even a 2 or even a 1, oh no, it must be at least 2 for the block to change. But as I said before, you need at least 4 fluid tanks to make your very first boiler, and it generates 2,048 stress units. Much better than a standard water wheel, takes up less space, kind of, and is 1/4 of the capacity of even the max windmill. But if you want to get a little serious, you're gonna have to turn it up a notch into level 1. You're gonna need a blaze burner. That's 4 iron plates and a piece of netherrack. And then you're gonna need to capture a blaze at the nether fortress, so you can have a little blaze burning. Now with this boiler status, as you can see, this is level 1. It is the same size and water, cranking at 20 RPM for a singular pump. You will have level 1 water, level 1 size, and a level 1 heat because of an active blaze. Now you can feed it coal or lava or eggs for that matter, and you will reach a level 1 boiler status. And the power is 16,384 stress units operating at 64 RPM. So at least 4 times as effective in speed than a passive boiler, and a multiplied by 4 difference in RPM. So 8 times stress units, 4 times the speed. And every stage after this is dependent on the fluid tanks and the blaze stage. So this is the first stage of blaze. Other than that, it would just be passive blaze burner. So if you give blaze fuel, it will be the first stage, and if you give blaze some blaze cakes, it will reach the second stage on blaze stage is +1, so this is 1 and this is 2. And for every 4 more fluid tanks, increases the size to 1. And with every pump, you're going to need at least 20 RPM to operate it. And as you can see, it requires 80 stress units for 1 pump. So that's 160 stress units just to power this thing. So very, very good. You could probably power a water wheel with this. Yeah, because it's 256 stress units. So even a fast water wheel could power your boiler. So you'll need 20 RPM per pump, and that will increase your water intake. Now, some things to take note: if you build your boiler too high, so this is 12 blocks, so it is a level 3 size, but the heat and the water has not kept up with the size. So as you can see, the size is 3 bars, while the water and the heat is 2. So whatever limits your boiler in terms of size, in terms of water, in terms of heat, that will limit how much you will be generating or what level it will be. But all in all, your very first active boiler status will generate 16,304 stress units at 64 RPM. At a level 2, if you take a look back here, it is only 1 steam engine, and it takes about half of the stress units of the full steam engine. So what you're going to need to do is take out more outputs with the steam engine, and then you can fully utilize all the steam power. And you can also attach it concurrently, and then you will have much more stress units in this, I guess, line, if you call it. So, yeah, as you can see, first it's 32,768 stress units. If I remove this, it is down to 16,384 stress units. So that's it for our level 2. Coming back around here, this is what a good level 3 boiler status would be like, but I don't recommend going in between. I'd recommend it being 1 to a 2x2 to a 3x3 in terms of boiler status. But if you want to go in between, I guess you can hook up 3 pumps operating at a minimum of 20 RPM or 80 stress units for each pump, and generate 49,152 stress units. Now that's a multiplier of 3 to level 1 boiler stacks. But as I said before, you're going to need multiple steam engines if you want to take out more stress units past 16,000. So here's a level 4 boiler status, still 64 RPM from every steam engine. Now if you're this late into the stage, you're going to have a lot of copper, a lot of barrels to make your fluid tanks. You're probably going to want a rotation speed controller to help supply enough water in your pumps to generate all the stress units. So, but I've never maxed out the stress unit capacity, so 65,556 stress units should be more than enough to power whatever you want. So this is the same, or almost the same boiler status. We've doubled in terms of power. We've also doubled the amount of pumps for a much taller boiler. Now this is a 2x2x8 boiler status with all of these blazes in their sieving stage. We've reached up to level 8, and we've doubled the amount of stress units to 131,072 stress units. But if you have your rotation speed controller, why not crank it up all the way? So I've cranked up this rotation speed to 90. Now with this big cogwheel, I can power this mini cogwheel in the pipe to be at a rotation speed of 80, so that's at least 4 times the power of stress units. And this level 9 boiler, while it's blaze to its first stage, it's only being controlled by one pump, so it's really good in terms of water efficiency. We've hit all the way up to stage 9 with 147,456 stress units. Now the absolute maximum boiler status is this one, with all the blaze seething, even the one in the middle, and a rotation speed controller at half target speed, which doubles into these pumps. So this is the max rotation speed and stress units that these pumps will require, providing more than enough water for this boiler. And as you can see, it is at max size, max water, max heat, which is level 18 if you want to go through all the levels. And this finally produces a total of 294,912 stress units. Now, getting blazes, getting the iron, getting the netherrack should be a walk in the park. You could have multiple of these, although I don't know if you want to cause much lag on your server, but all in all, I think this is a very good way to relieve all your stress. And just remember, if you want to create more stress units in a single line, make sure you connect up the steam engines with the shafts all consecutive. Yes. So, that'll be it for the stress showcase. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, well, press the like button. And if you want to see more Minecraft videos, or you just like my videos in general, please don't be afraid to comment down below on what you want to see next.